We are doing a car chat today, and you are rocking back and forth. You might be able to hear my daughter vacuuming out her car next to me, but I need to film this video. There is, I don't want to call it a trend because it's been going on since I had young kids, but there is this idea, this mentality that is costing us so much more than just monetary, much more than just the monetary aspect of it. We have, as a society, almost have this ingrained in us that doing what is right deserves a reward. Doing what is right because it is right and having the satisfaction or the feel-goodness about it because it was the right thing to do is gone. And it has spilled over into so much that I don't think we have really comprehended or realized. And today, again, I've had this conversation in my head for multiple days, and I need to have a conversation. When I was a young mom, I would say ever since having my third, I had this mentality that I deserved a treat for doing my job. Now, I wouldn't have put it like that. I would have said, it's been a hard day. Mama needs her Starbucks. And back then, 500 years ago. No, but back then, back when I was this younger mom with my children, Starbucks was about $4.55. So it was under $5. And I could justify it. I don't buy a new pair of shoes every day. Or whatever it is, every time I go shopping. I don't shop. I don't buy purses. I don't buy jewelry. I don't buy makeup. I could justify, like, Mama needs her coffee with the aspect of I'm doing my job. I deserve a little pick me up. Would I have ever worded it like that? Absolutely not, because if somebody had said that to me, it would have been like a slap in the face of, oh my goodness, no. Because even if I did my job well and I didn't get a Starbucks coffee, I'm still going to continue to do my job well. There is an aspect to our world of recognition, of outward recognition for doing the best. And it has stemmed from this lower expectations and wanting to bring those expectations back up. It starts in the schools. Now, I was homeschooled, but there is still that aspect in society with the paper routes that I did, with everything else. And it spills over into our homes as mothers, as wives, homemakers, whatever aspect it is. We can justify spending to make our homes look good. Whether or not that's a need, whether or not we can genuinely afford it. And I don't mean have the cash for it. I mean afford it. You might be able to afford it today, but is this decorating sustainable enough that if it has to be replaced, if it has to be redone, if it is not to your husband's liking at all and you have to redo it, is it going to be a financial burden at that point? That's what I'm talking about, because there are people that redo everything every season, and it is a financial burden on their family for doing that. Yes, you want to present a nice home, but you don't have to redo everything for each season in order to make yourself look or feel better as a homemaker. You don't have to reward yourself with a coffee or with a shopping trip or with anything else for doing your job. I have fallen into that trap, and I didn't see it And now that I can recognize these things and see where others are heading, it's me wanting to just throw up the red flags and say, this is danger, stop. It's important to really evaluate the cost of rewarding yourself for doing your job. Do things because it is the right thing to do, because it is the God-honoring thing to do, because it is the example you're also setting for your children of what they need to do, not only as children, but as adults. The aspect of you deserving something, it's another way of feeding into a high, for lack of a better word. I really don't want to use that word. It's another way of feeding a cycle that can end up being quite dangerous. Buying a cup of coffee, buying a Starbucks coffee isn't wrong. It isn't bad. Buying a new pair of shoes that you like the look of, that you definitely could use and definitely get your money out of, isn't wrong. There's my girl. She's scrubbing her car. None of these are wrong in and of itself, but the aspect of justifying your purchase because you deserved it for being a good mom, a good wife, a diligent homemaker, that is where the brakes need to be put, and evaluating yourself and really doing some soul searching is imperative. If we are managers of our homes, and if we are good stewards of what God has given us, then we will not need to be rewarded with something that is going to burn up or cause financial stress with more frequent purchasing. It can be enough, even if we're not recognized in our own home. It can be enough that what we are doing is the right thing. And I do like that line in Harry Potter where he says we're going to have to make the decision between doing what is right and what is easy. And having that aspect in our hearts day after day after day after day of continuing to do what is right is going to really change your perspective in so much in how you treat your spouse and how you treat your children and how you discipline in the sense of rearing and bringing up your children, discipling them in a way that they should go. Your mindset will change because our home as Christians is not in this world. This doesn't mean that you live depressingly because obviously your home is not here, it's in heaven. This doesn't mean that you don't take care of the things that you have. This doesn't mean that you don't get the treats every now and then. I'm going to the heart. I'm going to the aspect of why you are doing these things. Because once, if this is something that is a problem for you and you can catch it, then not only will you appreciate these things more, the cost to your family of being irritated that they aren't giving you what you need is going to diminish. And you will be more thankful for the little things, and the family will see that, and they will be more thankful for you and what you do as well. We are bombarded all the time with influencers basically trying to sell us something we need, we deserve. And the simple truth is, until we learn contentment and doing our job because it is our job, because it is the right thing to do, the cost is just going to be so high. And as a channel trying to share frugal living, I don't want to necessarily bring this aspect to you in the sense of you just got to stop. It is, the frugal mindset doesn't mean we have to be have a despairing mindset, a downhearted aspect, like, ugh, we're poor, we're frugal, we can afford this. No, it is taking these things and these things being like, oh, this is a problem. Like, we need to do things because it is the right thing to do, and to do it joyfully. So it's not just that we're going to live frugally. It's not just that we're going to do the things right. We're going to add in this another aspect of it and do it joyfully. And I'm just realizing I just did this whole video without even smiling or doing stuff like this. And I will have somebody get on to me about that. I already know who you are. And yes, I'm trying to remember to smile more. Sometimes it's really hard for me to smile. I am very self-conscious about my smiles, so... Oops. Anyway, okay, to get back on track, I've been kind of going all over, and I know there's going to be a lot of editing I need to fix and take care of, but what I really want you to take away from this is not to jump from one thing to the next, to buy something because you deserve it, or justify the purchase because if you have to here we go. If you have to justify your purchase, then you really need to think about the cost of this. And I'm not talking the price tag. I'm talking your peace of mind, your attitude, and everything else that's involved in this. That's what I'm trying to get at. There we go. There's a lot of videos on my feed right now because, again, this is kind of what my channel is about, so I watch similar things to kind of glean ideas or learn from. I'm still learning too. And there's this trend right now, I'm starting to really hate that word, by the way, of almost like a depressing aspect that we are now poor, that people are now really struggling to meet their standard of living these days. There we go. This trend in the videos of, Americans can't afford to live anymore. I want to break this cycle. I really do. I want to break this idea that because we have to live tighter, more carefully, more deliberately, that it means that we're miserable Americans. I definitely feel the pinch of the economics right now. I kind of come out of the grocery store a lot recently thinking, oh my goodness, why does it seem so much more, and why do the bags seem so much smaller? Which, by the way, the bags are smaller. I have measured. The bags are smaller. So you look like you're getting more, but you're really not. I want to change this. And remember, I want to change my attitude about this. I want to get to the point where it's like, okay, challenge accepted. We're going to live a little bit more frugally this week. Okay, challenge accepted. I'm not going to do something just because I deserve it. I'm going to do something because I love you and I want to do this for you. And it's the right thing to do. I want to give you a good home right now. I want to give you a good homeschool education. I want to give you a happy, healthy mother right now because I love you and this is what I need to do for you. I want to change the narrative of poverty living. We still are in the poverty living thing. We will always be there. But now I have lived in another state where I have had to work and I have made more money, and things were still stressful even with me working, and I have seen a different cost to things. And I would rather live more frugally. My kids are so much happier now that I'm home. We as a family are living smaller and just happier because we see the value of being together and working together and living together and enjoying being around each other. Yes, there are days when we're at each other's throats. Absolutely. But more often than not, you ask any of my kids and they will tell you, Ask me. Forget asking my kids. Ask me. Yes, I would much rather be with my children than at work, getting complimented on how well I do my job. Remember that thing that we kind of started out with, making that higher achievement and being complimented, getting what you deserve for your hard work with the extra gift. I've done all of that. I'll take being here. I will take it joyfully. And I kind of want to go forth with this channel with that mindset of let's learn how to enjoy life and embrace life, even when it's just a little bit harder. Hard isn't bad. Hard is not bad. Hard is not wrong. There's the idea of work smarter, not harder. Sometimes working hard is just working hard. Doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just means it's part of life. I'll find a way to make this work. Okay. Well, there's kind of two aspects to this video that may or may not mesh well with each other, but in my mind, I see as them complementing each other, that they work with each other. So, you can either take this as two different thoughts meshed into one video, or you can take this as, I can see how this works together in your mind. I'm not sure that you presented it well, but there you go. You can take it however you want. But here we go. Here's some thoughts. Here's some things that I really wanted to put forth. And I really hope that some of you can take this away and use it in your life in a way that will benefit you and enhance and enrich your own life. Thank you for joining me today. I will catch you in the next one, and have a wonderful, beautiful day.